Welcome to another episode of the Cooking Odyssey. On today's show, we are making pasturmali, a lovely appetizer made with cured beef, sun-dried tomatoes, and smoked cheese wrapped in phyllo pastry. Then a pan-seared tuna with sautéed spinach and asparagus, and we'll finish it off with a Byzantine-inspired baked quince. But first, let's explore the city that inspired today's recipes, and when we get back, I will have Eva with me here to help me cook.
The Great Thessaloniki Fire of 1917 burned for 32 hours and destroyed 9,500 houses, along with two-thirds of the city. At this point, the government knew it would have to rebuild, and so a team of architects and urban planners were chosen to reconstruct Thessaloniki. The Byzantine era inspired them, and their plans included diagonal streets, a grid-like street system, and provisions for generations to come. Two of my favorite pieces of architecture in the city of Thessaloniki are the Arch of Galerius and the Rotonda. Emperor Gaius Galerius selected Thessaloniki as the capital of his realm and built the arch as a memory of his victory over the Persian forces. Also on the list of the most impressive structure in Thessaloniki is the Hagia Sophia. Modeled after the original in Istanbul, this church is one of the oldest in the city, still standing today. It is also considered a World Heritage Site. Aristotelus Square, at the center of the city, is where most of the public buildings, historical sites, venues, and stores are located. The center is also characterized by its many historical buildings, arches, laneways, and distinct architectural styles. While walking around the square, I ran into an old family friend and the new mayor of Thessaloniki, Mayor Yanni Boutaris, who shared his vision and thoughts for Thessaloniki with me. When I asked him to describe his beloved city, he told me it was uniquely modern and about all the events that take place here.
Mostly art events, yes. Music, theater, art, paintings or sculpture.
The arts are very important to Mayor Boutaris. He takes pride in his city, and it's easy to see why. Thessaloniki is considered the cultural and entertainment capital of the country, and there are many festivals that take place here. The Documentary Festival is one of the three most important and famous documentary festivals in the world. The Biennale, a festival focused on the contemporary arts, the new food festival taking place this year, and the International Film Festival of Thessaloniki, an event he believes is different than all the others.
It's not a glamorous festival. It's a more sophisticated festival.
But still, it attracts a lot of people, right?
It attracts a lot of people.
And of course we talked about food, because really, what else is more important than that?
Thessaloniki has a tradition because it was a multicultural city. It had Jews, it had Turks, it had Slavs, and all of this mixture, apart from the ethnic food that existed. Mind you, in 1912, when the liberation from the Ottoman Empire happened, there were 12 different minorities in Thessaloniki, existing important different minorities, Italian, French, Hungarian, and all these people, they kept their ethnic food.
After taking up enough of Mayor Boutaris' time, and after all that talk of food, I was hungry, and so I went in search of a good restaurant close by. One specific ouzeri that I like to frequent is Elinikon, and is part of a new trend of restaurants that is half bakaliko, or convenience store, and half restaurant. Here, patrons can come in to try different kinds of foods and then buy the products to make them at home. In the 1950s and 60s, locals would shop in convenience stores just as you see here, and now Elinikon is following suit and creating the same hometown feel with their restaurant. At Elinikon, Chef Yanni showed me how to make pasturmali, a cured meat and cheese tapas with sun-dried tomatoes, which is a dish influenced by Greeks who immigrated from Asia Minor. While you may have not gotten all of that, don't worry. I'll make sure Yanni and I show you exactly how to make this delicious dish.
Welcome back. I have with me in the kitchen Eva. Super delighted to have her here, and we're going to make pasturmali.
Yep.
You tasted this on the road, eh?
Not only I taste it, I make it also. When we got back from the trip, I had some friends visiting. I was in Athens, and I made it like in 10 minutes, and they loved it. It's the easiest recipe ever.
10 minutes?
Yep.
So we start cooking now, eh?
Yeah,
Okay.
let's start counting.
So what do we need for this recipe?
Okay, we need the pastry first, the filo. We need smoked cheese, tomatoes. We need the pastourmas, the sun-dried tomatoes, and olive oil. That's it.
And for the folks back at home, pastourma is air-dried cured beef. If you can't find this, any sort of cured beef that you can find at your local deli, an artisan type of cured beef works really well. So let's get started, eh?
Yep.
Eva, can I please have some of the olive oil?
Sure. Here you go.
Thank you. So we'll get our pan to medium heat at first.
So first we put a slice of smoked cheese.
Okay.
Then we add the pastourmas like this. Then another slice of cheese. Then the tomato. Then the dry tomato. And that's it. It took me like a few seconds to do that. Okay, then you roll it like this.
Very easy. You just roll it up like that.
And then in order, I call that, instead of oil, glue.
Glue.
You put it like this. And here it is, ready.
Okay. So we have this pan in medium heat. I'll increase it just a little, so it's sort of medium-high, and let's add it in, okay?
Go ahead.
I shall do the honors.
And I'm gonna go for the second one.
I think it's time to flip one of these over at least. Check it out. Looks good. Beautiful
really
golden crust there. This is very nice as well. Let's get this batch out. They look wonderful.
I love the color. And they look so crispy. Oh my God, can't wait to try it.
Of course.
Okay, let's cut it in half.
Okay.
Let's see what we've done.
Delicious, Eva. Great work.
Oh my God, it's so good, huh?
Oh, wonderful. Sort of like the cheese just melts in your mouth. The intensity of the pastourma.
Easy,
Very easy
fast.
and delicious.
Yeah.
So what's next on your trip?
Let's go check.
Thessaloniki, like New York, is a melting pot of various cultures, and because of this, the city houses various museums. The Museum of Byzantine Culture aims in presenting many aspects of life during the Byzantine and post-Byzantine periods, including art, ideology, social structure and religion, as well as how historical changes and the political situation affected people's everyday lives. Opening in 1994, the museum currently has various permanent exhibitions. One, the early Christian churches, focuses on the architecture and decoration of their houses of worship. The next exhibition I walked through was the early Christian cities and dwellings. Here I saw aspects of economic life, domestic handicrafts, houses, food and clothing of these early Christians. Next on my list of noteworthy places to visit was the Jewish Museum of Thessaloniki. The Jewish population in Greece is the oldest in mainland Europe, and the Jewish Museum of Thessaloniki celebrates and informs visitors and locals alike about their history and culture.
because the Great Fire of 1917 left 50,000 Jews homeless and destroyed most of the written history. It was important to Thessalonians to honor the history of the Jewish population in the city, and so the collection is made up of any and all documents, ritual objects and photographs that could be found. Central to the first floor is a narrative history of the Jewish presence in Thessaloniki, from 3rd century until World War II. There I saw an exhibit that portrayed the deportation of 49,000 people to the concentration camps in Germany.
Welcome back, folks. I'm here with Eva, and we're about to make a very interesting dessert recipe with a very interesting fruit, quince. It's very exotic. It has been cultivated for centuries in Greece. So let's start. For our ingredients today, I have here some quince. I've already cut in half, sliced, and I've had this in water for the past 10 minutes. Some sugar, mavrodaphne, a sweet fortified wine from Greece. I love this wine because it presents all these lovely aromas of plum and raisin and caramel, and it works really well with baked quince. We also have cinnamon and cloves. Very easy recipe. First thing, let's just take our quince and just coat it in sugar, okay? And this will caramelize very nicely when this is baking. And just add them here. Now I want you to do me a favor, please. As I'm coating the quince, I want you to take a few cloves and puncture them all throughout, about 5 per quince, please.
Okay.
Okay?
Sure.
I think that's enough. Now, next step is to add our mavrodaphne. Let's just pour it all over.
1 glass is enough, huh?
Of course. Very nice. Let's finish off here with the rest of the sugar. Okay. Really coat them, and also into the syrup as well, not just over the quince. And this is going to create a lovely syrup as it cooks down.
Like caramelized?
Of course. I know it may seem like a lot, but this is what you need in order to have dessert. And we'll just give a few teaspoons of cinnamon. So our oven is preheated at 375 degrees. Can you do me the honors in putting it in the oven?
Let me put this stick here
Of
first.
course. Thank you. More fragrance. Thank you very much. Thank you. We bake our quince for around 30 minutes, uncovered, until they're fork tender. In the meantime, let's go back to Thessaloniki.
The next morning, I woke up early, excited to visit the esteemed winery, Domaine Gerovasiliou. Domaine Gerovasiliou lies on the slopes of Epanomi, a few miles southeast of Thessaloniki. The vineyard sits on a little more than 138 vast acres of greenery and beauty. Domaine Gerovasiliou is surrounded by the sea on 3 sides, one facing Mount Olympus. Vangelis Gerovasiliou, the proprietor, set forth to revive the family vineyard by planting the nearly extinct grape variety of Malagousia in 1981. Mr. Gerovasiliou told me that the climate in the region of Epanomi is purely Mediterranean, with mild winters and temperate summers cooled by sea breezes. After walking around for the most of the afternoon, it was time to visit the museum on the vineyard's premises. In addition to his interest in quality winemaking, Mr. Gerovasiliou shared with me his fascination of corkscrews, with over 2,600 pieces on display in the museum, as well as his collection of winemaking, bottling, and viticulture tools from around the world. While touring the underground cellar and tasting room, Mr. Gerovasiliou invited me to a wine tasting. I was lucky enough to taste Katsaros, Bibliochora, and my absolute favorite of the 3, Malagousia, the regional wine of Epanomi. Cultivated entirely from the rare Greek grape variety of Malagousia, the wine itself is a straw in color with various shades of green and an aroma of pear, mango, and citrus. On the palate, the rich flavor of lemon is distinct and delicious. Mr. Gerovasiliou partnered with Domaine Bibliochora, a winery on the slopes of Mount Pangeon in northern Greece, to cultivate its namesake wine, Bibliochora. The marriage of the cosmopolitan and fragrant Sauvignon with the Greek Assyrtiko produces a wine with an aroma of exotic fruits, peats and citrus. This wine has a rich color and beautifully balanced flavor. Mr. Georgivasiliou also partnered with Domaine Katsaros to cultivate its namesake red wine. Katsaros is generous and complex on the nose, with raspberry, black cherry and blueberry scents. As the day came to a close and the sun was setting, we were invited to drink more wine and enjoy some delicious food with the proprietors of the vineyard. It was the perfect end to a beautiful day.
Welcome back. Eva, being from Thessaloniki, I assume you love seafood.
Of course.
Okay, so I have for you a wonderful recipe made with tuna and kritharaki, the Greek orzo. Okay, so let's get started. What we'll need for today's recipe is a nice fresh piece of tuna, and we're also going to make a nice vegetable side in addition to the orzo. So we have our orzo here, some fresh spinach, green onion, asparagus, and some herbs, fresh dill and fresh thyme, some garlic, cherry tomatoes, some fish stock, a bit of lemon juice, some butter, and a glass of white wine. We're going to coat our pot here with some olive oil. That's good. Put that here. Can I have the orzo, please?
Here you go.
Thank you. And a spatula, a wooden spatula. And what we're going to do is actually toast off the orzo. It's going to give it a very nice nutty flavor. As you can see, it's toasted off. It's got that nice golden color, nice flavor that's coming out of the pot. So it's time to add in our wine. Let the alcohol cook off 1 to 2 minutes, and then we'll add our fish stock. So we'll add this in. Okay, and let's season it. And a few pinches of salt. Give it a nice stir. So I'll cover this up, lower the heat just a bit so it simmers 15-20 minutes, and let's get started on the rest of the recipe.
Great.
Let me heat up this pan and we'll coat it with just a little olive oil. Okay, that's enough.
Yep.
I'll get my green onion, okay, and just chop it. Let's add straight into the pan. And let's just cut off the asparagus tips here, okay? Just as much, 2 inches. Add these in here. And let's add a little seasoning. A bit of more pepper, because you like it, okay? Let's just put off that to the side. A little more salt. Give them a nice mix. Coat them with the oil. And let's add our spinach, okay? This is just going to wilt. Okay, beautiful. Good mix. This is just going to soften up in 30 seconds. Some dill. Let's just add that right in there. Okay, that's good. Freshly squeezed lemon. Add that right in here. Let's add in our tomatoes here as well.
Yep.
Okay, right in there. Our vegetable side is done. Let me plate it. Can I have the tongs, please?
Sure. Here you go.
Thank you. Get our asparagus, our spinach, our tomatoes. Not too much liquid, and we're going to plate it here, and it's going to be the bed onto which the tuna is going to rest. So let me clean my pan, and if you can do me a favor, can you season the tuna, please?
Sure. We start with a little bit of salt, then pepper. Then I'm gonna add the thyme.
Beautiful. Can I have the olive oil, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
Here you
Let's
go.
get started with our tuna now. I've been heating this pan, okay? Just a little olive oil, and let it heat up for 1 minute, and then we'll add in our tuna. 30 seconds on each side, basically. We also are going to add a clove of garlic right in there. It's going to impart the lovely garlic flavor into the oil. Our oil is nice and hot. Just one step. Take our tuna.
Our food is almost ready.
Indeed. And let's just add it in here. 30 seconds. I want you to count,
Okay.
and then we'll flip it over. Actually,
Yep.
let me check my orzo. Okay, it's almost done. And let's flip over our tuna. Beautiful.
Great.
Look at that. You've got that nice brown color to it. Add a little butter. Can I have the spatula, please? Thank you. Give it a nice mix. I'll take this off right there. And it's time to serve
The tuna.
our tuna. Beautiful. Okay, I'll just put it right over my greens, right off onto the side like that. Let's bring this over here, off the heat. It's nice and creamy, and I'll add it to the top of the plate. That's it.
Wow.
Gorgeous, huh?
Gorgeous. I'm speechless.
I hope you are speechless after you eat this. That's it.
I'll tell you in a while.
And let me get our dessert,
Okay.
because we're not just having our tuna, but also dessert. We'll have this here. And I want your verdict, okay? And let me cut you a piece first. That's for you.
Thank you. Let's see.
I'm going to actually try.
Danny, congratulations. It's really nice. Hmm?
You should try a little bit of the kritharaki. The lemon taste is coming off really strongly in the most positive of ways. Very nice. Beautiful. Get a bit of a
with mavrodaphne, yeah?
mavrodaphne, cinnamon, cloves.
Oh my god.
Superb.
It's so good.
The richness of the syrup. This is exquisite. So Eva, where are we going on the next episode?
It's a surprise. I'm not gonna tell you. I'm
Okay.
just gonna give you a little hint. We're gonna continue our travels in the northern part of Greece.
I see. So, thank you for joining us today, and thank you to you folks. See you on the next episode of The Cooking Odyssey. Join us on the next episode of The Cooking Odyssey, where we visit a beautiful seaside resort and a traditional village with a history that spans 28 centuries.